This is Antoine Lee.
And this is Pam Lee.
And like we promised, we're back and we're getting ready to begin sort of a brief series that we decided to put together on
sex.
On the topic. And we felt that this would be a very good topic because it's one of those things that can be kind of like an elephant in the living room. But it's a good thing. And as from our last little presentation, we were talking about how in Hebrews 13, it's talked about how marriage should be honored by all and the marriage bed kept pure. And that's the idea of that it's a good thing. Now, marriage is something that is created by God, honored by God, and it should be respected. And the key is we want to make sure that the marriage bed is kept pure, which means sexuality in and of itself is a sacred thing. And so we're just going to be hitting a few topics. And I think, what was the first topic we said we wanted to talk about?
Respect the differences.
Respecting the differences. And this is what I mean. Here's what happens. Tell me if you can relate to this. You and your wife, you love each other. You're passionate. The honeymoon is amazing. And then as time goes on, we begin to get a little, not even a little, we get either critical or really kind of a contemptuous tone about the other person's sexuality. This is what I mean. Men basically look at the women like, truth be told, what's wrong with you? She could just turn off. She goes like this, there's a little button, and a week could go by and nothing, and she doesn't seem to, I could walk around with, and nothing. And then we get very upset because we feel like our wives just don't seem to be that into it.
And wives could feel like, stop touching me, you're always touching me, I don't understand, we're talking about one thing, how did we end up in intimacy? You can hug me, does it have to go all the way?
Does it have to go all the way?
Can we just be friends? Can we just talk?
And on both sides, it's a contempt. It's an attitude basically that's best expressed by this face with the other one. For us men, it's that contempt that kind of goes, what's wrong with her? Sit around with your friends, oh, my wife, she's just so cold, and da-da-da. And we not say it that overtly, but we feel it, and sometimes we do. Especially amongst our Christian brethren, we can feel like our wives just ain't into it. And then conversely, women have a little contempt for the men, where they can feel like their husbands, not just for the men, but for their husbands, where they feel like their husbands are just dogs. That's all they want. I'm not just a piece of, that kind of...
I'm not a piece of meat.
Yes, yeah. And it's bad. So you have two people kind of looking and judging each other about their own sex drives. But the key is respecting the differences. Male sexuality is very different, some similarities, but very different from female sexuality. True? What do you say?
Absolutely. It's not that women don't like it. It's not that we don't enjoy it. We have other things on our minds.
Other things.
And we need coaxing. Building up to it. We need preparation. And then we can make it happen.
Men don't need preparation. We're ready. The key is this domain when it comes to sex, and this is, if anything you walk away with, please stop judging each other because you're different. Talking about sex and having a better intimacy life begins with a better relational life, which means you learn to appreciate each other. Even if some things are just very different from you. Your wife is not just you without the male body part. Men have we have two different orientations.
Yes.
So for example, men's orientation is more physical. We're about the physical. We're about our thinking. That book they have called Men Are Like Waffles and Women Are Like Spaghetti or something like that.
Mars.
No, spaghetti. That's the old book.
Oh.
But very compartmentalized in our thinking. Like a waffle. We can want to have sex and then have a fight with our wife 20 minutes before. Our thinking is compartmentalized. We like physical variety. We like sex is the priority, whereas women,
we need relationship, We're holistic. Everything matters. We're emotional. We have to feel close to you and safe and secure. And it's not a priority. I have to make sure the dishes are done, the lights are out, the lunch is made, everything's packed for tomorrow, clothes are on. And then, if I'm not too tired, we can have intimacy.
Our needs center around being respected. We look at it, our sex life, if it's not happening to our frequency, it's about, do you respect me enough? Do you admire me enough? Am I emotionally needed by you? Whereas for women,
do you understand me? Do you love me? Are we emotionally close? Do we spend time?
it's a yes. And so I want to encourage you. That is probably the biggest thing. Please throw out the contempt. If you've had these bitter thoughts about your wife as if she's some spinster or robot, or she's just maybe something's wrong with her, or maybe if you're insecure, oh, there's something wrong with you, that's not it. It's that she's different. You got to really build your friendship, your relationship. How are the times going in other areas of your marriage? And work from that view. But please don't have that bitter or contemptuous or kind of flippant. You know, even if you're not mad, you're kind of like, oh, she's just so... But realize she's just different physically. God made her that way.
The minute I accepted that and got compassionate toward the fact that Antoine wanted to have intimacy more than me, we've learned to adapt. There are times where, like they say, women are slower and men are quicker. So there are times that we just do it quick and then I go on and do whatever because it's a need he has. It's not he's making it up and being mad and upset about anything. It's a need that only I, as his wife, can meet. I don't want anybody outside meeting it. So I take the time and I meet that need.
And I want to encourage us, and we'll close on that one, is that to improve that quality of your relationship, please respect the differences. There's a lot of great books out there, in the Christian world especially, about respecting those differences. But it's the key. Get rid of that judgmental, flippant tone. Brothers, men, your wife ain't crazy. She's not a robot. She just has a different orientation in how she views it. And so put that into practice, see how it goes. That's just from our experience, from our wisdom. And it's based on some pretty good sort of general overall research from various sources. And so thank you. And we'll see each other again
next time.
Next time.